PSG, interesting company, established as recently as 1995 by one of South Africa's favorite businessmen, Jannie Mouton. It has 39 underlying investments that operate across industries, but the focus is on financial services because of a big 35% stake that they have in Capitec. But they've also got private equity, agriculture in the Western Cape, education, Curro. It's got a market cap of 13 billion rand, and as I said earlier, that 32% stake in Capitec, I think, accounts for about 67% of the NAV. Price to earnings ratio of 14.4, dividend yield of 1.4%. Gerard, this is a bit like an listed investment bank, and in fact, that was their sort of original heritage. I didn't mention the financial services business they've got in there, the PSG Consult online business. What do you think of this one? It's gone a little bit sideways at around the 60 buck level in the last few months, but I suppose that's the Capitec price that's also softened a bit.
Yeah, I think that's all on the back of the Capitec price. This huge run-up was as well. It used to be traded very cheaply, but the Capitec share has grown enormously over time. But we know what's happening in the unsecured lending space at the moment, so a lot of people wary on it. It came out, Capitec, about 3 weeks back or 2 weeks back with about 36% earnings growth trading statement.
Yeah.
That would put it not expensive, 11 PE, but if you look at some of its competitors like African Bank, it's trading at 8 PE. So, yeah, probably difficult times going forward. And I think if you look at the net asset value play, yeah, it's certainly probably on the dot, and there's probably not a huge discount anymore against its underlying investments. So, Curro is interesting going forward, but that's a small stake. I think we all like education long-term wise in South Africa.
Stake. What have they got of Curro? Is it?
No, I think they got about 60% or something.
Exactly.
But it's not a huge net asset value play because it's still a small company. Zeda, we like the agricultural flavor around it, but I think just from the PSG price, it's probably a bit fully priced.
Plus, I gather there are a couple of other things, because they, again, get quite a lot of people going to knock on their door down there in the old Dorpstraat in Stellenbosch saying, hey, I got this fancy idea. And that's where the Curro guys came from. So then Jannie sits and looks at them and, checks them out, and then if they decide to go with it. So I think they are, in a way, incubating future opportunities, they hope. And I guess that's what people are backing, is their ability to see those.
Yeah, certainly. I think that's the same with Zeda on the agricultural side. Then, like you said, the private equity side, that's interesting as well. There they hold companies like Topfix, etc., that's gone through difficult times. So there's some listed shares in there and also unlisted shares. But interesting company. At the moment, we just think it's probably a bit fully priced, but it all depends on what happens to the Capitec.
Well, what about shareholder dynamics? That's the other thing I just want to put on the table. So Jannie and his family owns, I think, 20% of this. Yeah. Steinhoff owns 20% because his chum Marcus Jooste sort of was also working a bit with the shares. I think Christo Wiese had a bit of an interest there, but he may have reduced that recently. Then you get some of the other founders of the PSG group, like Chris Otto and those guys. So, I mean, when the time came, Jannie didn't want to work so hard anymore. He searched the world for a new CEO and decided the best man for the job was his son, which happens. Yeah. But the question really, this is a listed entity with a 13 billion rand market cap. Are we buying this one because we think this is a sort of family-run business that can shoot the lights out and do more deals like Capitec? Or are you saying, look, nice run, well done, boys, but not going to buy the shares at this level?
Yeah, look, I think if you like the Zeda or the Curro story, you can probably buy them directly on the JSE at the moment. So there's probably more of a discount within those at the moment than there is in the PSG stall. So I would probably shy away.
Lean towards the not hot at this level. Okay. Look, as it happens, I'm of the view that there isn't going to be any kind of lasting problem in the small lending environment. But having said that, I was quite struck by your point that in a sense, Capitec trades at a much higher valuation, already assuming there's going to be no trouble. So I think I'm going to go with not hot as well. We'll stick with that one together.